Leisure Line Stove Company presents the Leisure Line Stoves Video Information Series. Created to provide our valued customers with expert advice, techniques, and information on the care and maintenance of their Leisure Line stoves, furnaces, and boilers.
It's Matt from Leisure Line again. Another video in our series on how to work on the items for your stoves. Today we're going to talk about the power vents. The power vent is one of the most maintenance intensive items that you'll find because the fly ash from the stove ends up in the workings of the power vent. You'll see in this part the old style HD power vent ends up with quite a bit of fly ash in all of the buckets of the squirrel cage. That has to be cleaned out at least once every couple to 3 months. On these motors there are oil holes, and as you can see on these they're pretty well plugged up with dust, so this one's going to take some pretty good cleaning. The new style power vents are the SWG type AFs. This can be identified by the green label. Also, when you look at the fan itself, it's a centrifugal fan, and we'll see that when we take it apart. For this instruction, you're going to remove the cover, a 9mm deep wall socket to take the nuts off the screws that, or the studs that hold the power vent motor, and a soft bristle and a wire brush. It's also helpful sometimes to have a screwdriver. That can be used to scrape the fly ash off. As you can see on this one, it actually is coming off in chunks. So let's get started. We're going to first remove the 4 screws that hold the cover. Careful to remove those with the lock washers so that they don't get lost. Lift the cover off. As you can see, this cover just fits off over it with slots. We'll set that aside. The next thing that we're going to do is take our 9mm and remove the nuts that hold the motor on. There are 3 of those on the 4AF and 5 of them which are of a bigger size on the 5AF. The 4AF power vent is used on all stoves, including the high fire, and the 5AF is used on all boilers and furnaces. In this case, we're going to just lift this clear without taking it all the way apart. You would normally want to take this cover off and remove the wires and pull the whole motor off. This one is a brand new clean one, but as you can see, these fans are different. This just requires brushing down and cleaning. The other critical item is the cooling fan that resides inside this cover, because as you'll see, when this is installed, the fly ash comes out this way and can be sucked into the cooling fan, especially if the ground is too close. So when you're cleaning it, you want to give that a good shot of WD-40 and clean that up as best you can. We're just going to go ahead and put these screws back on as if we had just cleaned it. And in the case of this motor, it does have oil holes. I'm going to rotate it around. They're in the top on either side of the label. The special SWG power vent oil that we sell would be what you would use on that. So that would be horizontal, and you would give it a couple drips in each hole. We have also had great luck with the white lithium grease with silicone in it. Just put it in the oil hole, give it a squirt. So now we're going to go ahead and put these nuts back on there. We'll get the cover, goes back on. Sometimes you have to kind of spread it to fit. And then we'll put the 5/16 head sheet metal screws back in. Don't tighten any of them yet. And the last one. So, snug them up. I want to over tighten them, because you'll end up stripping them, but you don't want them to be loose so that this rattles. So anyway, all of this work is taking place outside the home. One other tip: when the unit is done for the season, perform this operation of removing the motor, leave it out, and stuff a rag in the hole, and that will prevent air from going inside the stove and rusting it out. Make sure the rag fits nice and tight. Sometimes you can take a rag and wrap it in a plastic bag, but clean everything up good. Spray it down with WD-40, take the motor out, disconnect it, put that in the garage. Make sure the power vent control is on the inside, so before you attempt any service, obviously you need to disconnect the unit. And that's it.
To find your closest dealer of American-made Leisure Line stoves, furnaces, and boilers, or view additional videos, visit www.leisureLinestoves.com.